Hello, it's your boy Davidoff. Welcome back to Movie Monday. I've gone back a bit to being disorganized, which is not good, because the last two episodes I've watched them like a week before, so I'd be ready. The episode would be ready to go. It is now Sunday night. Actually, it's 11:59, so it's almost Monday, but I'm getting this up on time, just about. But yeah, I worked Wednesday to Saturday. Monday and Tuesday I had off. I should have watched this movie then, but Wednesday and Saturday I worked. Saturday I was very busy. I was so busy, in fact, that I couldn't upload Sunday's video, Ultraman Arc, which will be uploaded today as well, along with this. But anyway, at least this is still on time. It's just that from my point of view, I'm just like, I'm recording this so late and I got work tomorrow, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna enjoy this. This is the last movie of this generation of Star Trek films. The first generation had 6. This one has 4. This is the 4th one. I've enjoyed the second gen of Star Trek, for sure. Captain Picard is awesome, and the new crew is awesome. I still prefer the original crew, of course. Captain Kirk and Spock. Those are my guys, and obviously the rest of the crew as well. I do prefer the originals, but these are good as well. I enjoy them. I think Generations was first, right? Then was First Contact, then obviously Insurrection. Now we're watching Nemesis. So the plot line of this is the Enterprise is diverted to the Romulan homeworld Romulus, supposedly because they want to negotiate a peace treaty. Captain Picard and his crew discover a serious threat to the Federation once Praetor Shinzon plans to attack Earth. Well, this sounds like an interesting finale. I like the wedding scene at the start, a nice calm before the storm, even though we got a bit of a storm at the very beginning. But I don't like how it's right at the start of the film. I don't want one of the couple to die. That would not be nice. No, I only just recognized a young Whoopi Goldberg. And she was in a previous film. I know she was. I remember seeing her. But at the time I didn't think that's Whoopi Goldberg. Just now I clocked it. Oh, that's Whoopi Goldberg. Just younger. Kind of like seeing, like, you know, just big figures when they're a lot younger, especially actors. Just to see what they were doing back in the day, you know. So that's just like, the fact I didn't realize that was her beforehand is just like, what am I doing? But yeah, the premise is interesting so far, and I'm very intrigued to see how this plays out. But so far, I think this movie has potential to be great. And I mean, I guess if you're watching, you're a Star Trek fan, you'll know if it's great or not already. But I'm only just finding out. But I'm very intrigued to see where this goes. Tea Earl Grey hot. Picard knows how he likes his hot drinks. Anyway, so they go to investigate a planet because there's some sort of transmission there coming from something that's similar to Data. Basically, there's an android on this planet, and Data's guessing this based on, I completely forgot what he said, but sorry, I'm tired. But yeah, they go to this planet to investigate, and they find a head of an android that looks exactly like Data. So the exact same, probably the exact same invention, exact same creator, and he seemed like a prototype version of Data. So he's Data, but he's an earlier version, and it's just his head. And this is what they find. So Data meets him. He's just like, the resemblance is uncanny. Oh, you don't say. 3 of them, Data, Picard, and what's his name? I think it's Worf. They get ambushed by people waiting on that planet, which I assume they're part of the race that's the antagonists of this film, under the villain Shinzon. Shinzon's played by Tom Hardy. I wish I didn't spoil myself there, but I was on IMDb just now, and I've just scrolled down a little bit, and I just see Tom Hardy. I'm just like, okay then. I kind of wish I waited until, what have I done? I wanted to find out in the film. But yeah, so they get ambushed, but they manage to escape. Luckily they didn't get caught this time. So they've brought this android back, just his head, and he talks obviously like an android, and he's very prototypey, so he's asking weird, strange questions. Why does that man have a shiny head? Why does that man have hair on his face? just weird, random questions that I guess an android might ask you. And yeah, they're gonna reassemble him, put him back together, as he's clearly not a threat. But I guess Data has a brother now, as Data said in his own words. Data's brother is B4, which is the android's name. We've got our introduction to Tom Hardy did I say Cardi? Tom Hardy's character Shinzon. I was pleasantly surprised to see it was him playing him, so that was awesome. This franchise has some really good villains, and I'm hoping he is another one of those good ones. I recognize someone else. This woman I recognize that Shinzon's talking to right now. Obviously you can't see what I'm saying. But yeah, the design of this character looks interesting. His voice takes some getting used to, because it's a very unique accent, I guess. Sometimes you hear Tom Hardy when he's angry. You hear the Tom Hardy voice. Apart from that, the voice he puts on for this is quite interesting. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see how he does as a villain in this. And there's a Tom Hardy from 2002, so that's 22 years ago. I'm a big fan of him though, his favourite actor. So the fact I don't know he was in Star Trek is disgraceful for me, to be honest. I just had to pause the film for the first time today because of what I've just seen. Before I get to what I've just seen, I was literally just going to start talking about the meeting between Picard and Shinzon. It's very interesting because they're basically, in a way, they're like brothers. In some ways, that's technically true. But when Picard looks at him, and I guess when Shinzon looks at Picard, it's like looking in a mirror, but the opposite of you. Like Shinzon is essentially an evil version of Picard. And he does have a backstory that gives him reason to be angry about certain things, but he's still pretty damn evil. And just like they think very alike in certain aspects. They have similar traits, very similar traits actually. And yeah, when Picard looks at him, it's like looking at himself, but a bad version of himself. So that's in some sort of corrupt mirror. And from Shinzon's point of view, he's also, he's curious about Picard because of certain history. And yeah, I thought that was a very interesting scene, the two of them just meeting and talking. That was a very good scene. And I've just seen that sex scene turned horror scene. Newly married couple. So they're doing the business. Obviously you don't see much detail, but yeah, Diana is underneath, and Shinzon, so I've forgotten his Viceroy. Yeah, so Viceroy has the ability to kind of teleport Shinzon to a location, but like not physically, I guess, like into someone's mind. So into someone's mind. So from Diana's mind, Viceroy puts both hands on Shinzon's head, as if it's like Professor X or something, and he gets into Diana's head, and then so Diana, while she's doing the business, instead of seeing her husband, she starts seeing Shinzon, and Shinzon actually hit on her earlier, asked if she can touch her hair when you first get introduced to him, so clearly he likes her in some way. So she starts seeing Shinzon on top of her, and she starts screaming, and then she sees Viceroy's face, and it's just this whole crazy horror scene. And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to watch this. Since when did this get so dark compared to the last set of films? But I was just sitting there in shock. I'm just like, what have I just got myself into? And the whole point of it was to break the bond. So he wants to break the bond between the newly married couple, probably because he wants her to himself. This is a very weird, obsessed. Obviously, there's many stories and obviously real life situations about men obsessed with women in a very abusive and weird way. This just takes it up a different level. Sci-fi edition. I'm just like, right then. Let me watch the rest of the film, because I need to get that out of my mind by watching the rest of the film, because that was a little too bizarre. I love how Shinzon just says, tea, hot. The evil version of Picard doesn't specify anything more than tea, hot. I like tea as well though, so I wish I could do that. I can just say tea, hot, and it just turn up next to me. Now that's the technology that we need in life. So there's some interesting plot points. Shinzon being Picard's clone, so he was created to be like Picard, and he's essentially the evil version. Shinzon is also dying apparently, and he needs a transfusion from Picard to that's the only way, because otherwise he'd be dead. And he also wants to completely destroy Earth. not just defeat Earth and defeat the Empire. He just wants to destroy planet Earth. So that's where this is headed, and there's 44 minutes left, so still plenty of time for plenty of things to happen. Well, that does include the credits, but there's still plenty of time. The scene of the Enterprise crashing straight into Shinzon's ship is epic. I love the way they did it, and Viceroy had a death that was very similar to Palpatine. Well, he didn't die really, but the way he fell into the void, it definitely felt like, you know, Palpatine and his death. And also, actually, wait, sorry, I was also thinking of Luke Skywalker, but he didn't fall into space. He fell down like a tunnel or whatever. But that also, it might have made that scene as well, but mainly the Palpatine scene. But the way this Viceroy dies, it reminds me of like that looks so Star Warsy. That last fight had a very emotional climax. Picard manages to kill Shinzon, and well, it was, even for him it was shocking. Even like earlier in the film, he was trying to appeal to the good side of Shinzon, and it didn't work. There was no good in him really, but he was still trying to get through to him, and he definitely wasn't, you know, ecstatic about killing Shinzon, but he did what he had to do. And then Data decides, I'm gonna send Picard back to the ship, which he did, because there was a weapon about to fire, and he needed to stop it. And Data decides he's gonna take the fall. He decides to destroy the weapon and the ship with him in it. He saves Picard, but Data dies, and I'm not sure I'm a fan of that, to be honest, because even though he's just an android, and even though his brother, his prototype, is still here, and I think they try to transfer memories early in the film, but regardless, they killed off Data like that, and I'm just like, after all we've seen him go through in these 4 movies, seeing him learn human emotions, he's had a lot of funny and emotional moments, and all that, and he's dead at the end of the last film. I'm just like, I get that it's the last movie in this particular timeline, and you want to like have like this ending, but they had to kill off Data. Why? They didn't have to. they didn't have to. But it is what it is, I guess. Hopefully, well, I'd like to think that B4 will still be. He won't be Data, but at least can be like a memory of him, I guess. And I think he's starting to be in the scene I'm watching with Picard. So yeah, the movie's over. I had a good time. I don't know where I'd rank it, to be honest. I liked it, I enjoyed it. Definitely an emotional ending. I still don't think they should have killed him off, but obviously it's the last in the series. I'll be watching the newer one soon. I'm looking forward to those. Hopefully those 3 are good. I wonder what character Chris Pine plays. I think he's the only one I remember from like pictures and stuff. I almost watched Into the Darkness on holiday at one point and never got to see it, so I'm glad I didn't see it. But that would have been my first Star Trek film if I chose to see it years ago when it was in cinemas. I'm looking forward to those, but in terms of this series, I think I enjoyed this one the least out of the 4. And that's not to hate on this, I still like this, it's just that I like the other 3 a bit more than I like this one. But yeah, an interesting villain, and the fact that it's Tom Hardy, that took me by a bit of surprise. I'm just like, yes, that's what I like to see. But yeah, it was a good time. I still enjoyed myself, and that was pretty good, and it definitely packed the punch at the end. That is for sure. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the franchise, I guess. But I feel like I've seen the best of it in 2 different eras, and they released these in such quick succession, like within a few years each one. Even like the first 6 movies, they weren't that much. Like the 6th one wasn't that far off the first one of these 4. I've literally butchered that sentence, but I mean like Generations came out only a few years after Star Trek 6, so like they kept this going a while, and they made it work. Obviously I wasn't alive. I mean I was born in '95, so I wasn't alive for a lot of these films, but I'm curious to know like what it was like during that time. For like moviegoers and Star Trek fans, it would have been for Star Trek fans, I guess they would have been living in a dream world. I've not seen the shows either. There's plenty of shows and episodes Probably won't have time to see them, but I'm glad I didn't have to watch them to actually understand the movies. I'm glad that's the case. Because if I had to watch the shows as well just to understand the movies, that would have been a long while. But I guess I know how certain people would feel if they had to watch all the Marvel movies to understand Infinity War Endgame. So, you know, in a way, it's kind of the same thing. But yeah, this is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Oh, rating. 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and goodbye.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time.